Hey guys, what's up? I should be live right now. I figured that I was doing the lives on Facebook, but the quality save was really awful, and I figured it'd probably get to more people on Facebook, but I figured I'd try it on YouTube, see if it's any different. I'm just gonna chat a bit. I wanted to talk about some recent watches. I used to do these old videos on here, like recent watches. That was kind of fun. I stopped doing it because we had the Shut Up Brandon podcast that we did a while ago. It's been inactive for over a year now, and we used to kind of bullshit on there. I talk about everything I've been rewatching, a lot of typical movies, a lot of horror movies that I'd seen 100 times, and we had a good, process where we'd go back and forth and talk about them a lot. So, I stopped doing it. I might bring it back, but I'm thinking about bringing back the podcast. We still have the feed up there. I just reopened it, realized that had been inactive, and I was thinking occasionally we'll probably do a Shut Up Brandon podcast, but I'm also thinking that I may do a couple little different shows on there. One with with Brandon, we'll do a couple shows on there. We'll do our own thing because it just takes so long for us to get together on a time. We all are pretty busy and live in a little different areas, so that. But so I definitely want to do the podcast. I had a couple ideas floating around. One would be focusing on one movie, and another would be sparingly kind of different things here and there, and maybe an occasional Shut Up Brandon podcast. I doubt we're going to be able to get all three of us on there, and it's kind of really not a Shut Up Brandon podcast unless it has me, Dustin, and Brandon on it. That kind of me, I guess you'd say. But I'll talk about some recent watches. Some of them I reviewed, so I'll just skim over there. I'm not sure if questions will pop up or not, but if you got a question, ask. Hopefully it pops up. I'm not sure how the live videos work. But yeah, I'll go first. Today I watched, I got this import of this, it's a German import of an American movie. I believe it was made in 93, 94. I saw the Extra the Mutilator had gotten a copy, and it is T-Force. It's one of those PM movies, those kind of action sci-fi movies back in the day. They were always super action-packed, lots of squips going off. And it's funny because we were talking when we were watching it, it's stupid and it's cheesy, but it's really fun. And it's a low-budget direct-to-video movie. And those movies, those cheesy direct-to-video movies back then were just so much superior to the cheesy direct-to-video movies now, unfortunately. But essentially it's in the future. It's got to be probably like something like, I don't remember what they said. Even if they said it's probably like 2006. But these T-Force, these terminal kind of, what do they call them? The termination force or terminal force. They send them in to basically stop this terrorist in the beginning. It's like a Die Hard opening. The movie rips off Die Hard and Terminator, and it has Evan Lowry from Hologram Man. It's a lot like Hologram Man, but I think Hologram Man's better. I love that movie. So there's lots of action, but there's a time in the movie where it completely stops and has this friendship between one of the cybernauts, they call them, cybernauts, and the cop Jack Scalia, and it just dies down. But Jack Scalia in the movie is super cheesy. He's one of the producers, so he was like, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, I'm taking over this movie. But anyways, it's really fun. Has some good action scenes in there, and we were talking. It looks like it's shot at the same place as Doll Man and Nemesis and Albert Pune movies were shot at in this like desert location. But it's a fun movie. To answer your questions, I never watched Supernatural, the TV show. I have seen the VHS Supernaturals. I'm not a big TV guy. I don't really like TV. I have not seen Evolution yet either, but I did buy the Blu-ray. It should be back there somewhere. Yeah, but T-Force, by the same director of Hologram Man. Vernon Wells is in it, playing kind of like what's the guy? I can't believe I forgot. I know Vernon Wells is, but I can't remember the main bad guy in Die Hard. Alan Rickman. There we go. Yeah, but that's T-Force. Rewatched a few Arrow movies. I watched Brain Damage. There'll be a review for that probably shortly after this video. Love Brain Damage. Frank Henenlotter. What can I say? Don't really want to talk about it because it's going to be in the review, and I probably already reviewed the old Synapse DVD years ago. But yeah, what else do we got? I'm looking at the piece of paper to make sure I go in order. I got the German import Hatchet, the first Hatchet. It's enjoyable. It's been a while since I watched it. My favorite part in the movie is definitely when Richard Riley or Richard Reichel, however you say his name, him and his wife get butchered in that movie. Spoiler, sorry, it's like 10 years old. But yeah. And that scene is kind of darkly funny to me because they're just these old people trying to outrun this vicious, scary monster, and he just comes out of nowhere, and it's horrifying and kind of funny and all. But Hatchet's pretty enjoyable. I wasn't a huge fan of the second one, and I thought the third one was a little better than the second one, but I love some of the gore gags in two. But I do enjoy Hatchet. It's fun. I am super excited about Don't Torture a Duckling get an Arrow release. I haven't seen it since the DVD days. I've always loved. I'm sorry, I missed. I'm probably missed your comment, Matt. What is it? But I've always loved Don't Torture a Duckling because it came so fast. Sorry about the comment, but I've always loved Don't Torture a Duckling. I think it's one of Fulci's best movies. It has a great cast in it. It's got that twisted sense of the religious stuff in there where these people pick somebody in there that actually didn't do it. This over superstitious nature. Really like that. I haven't watched the Cold Prey series yet, but what are those Scandinavian slasher movies? The next is I'm sorry, what was that about Stone Cold? Brian Bosworth was in Stone Cold. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Slayer too. That's an underrated kind of supernatural cool movie. But Stone Cold by Brian Bosworth, yeah, with Brian Bosworth. I have seen that movie. I actually took advantage of that Olive buy one get one and ordered that one. It's a pack order, but it's been a long time since I watched that one. I don't remember seeing him in that movie, but maybe I'm wrong. He's not as far as I can tell he's in it, or maybe they said he would like it. You would like it. I'm not sure necessarily what your question was, but we have Class of 1999, which I've seen 100 times. Was a favorite as a kid. I got that Cult Classics Blu-ray. The standard edition came in, and you know what? I have not seen Book of Blood, but you know what about Class of 1999? I love so much. It has like one of those ultimate B movie casts, like the Best of the Best Part 2 has it too. But Class of 1999 has. No, yeah, not seen that one. But Class of 1999 has Patrick Kilpatrick, John P. Ryan, Pam Grier, Stacy Keach, Malcolm McDowell, the kid from Near Dark. It's just a slew of people in this movie, and it's a freaking blast. Robot Teachers, directed by Mark Lester, who's one of those underrated directors too. He did Commando and Firestarter and Class of 1984. So he has like a nice track record. I think that 99 is super fun. The action's fun. There's laps of reasons, but I love that the thing about 99 is you can take that and be like, here's actors who are enjoying themselves being over the top performance. And they're chewing the scenery, but they're having a good time and they're keeping it somewhat grounded. Then I like actors who overact but try to keep it real. I can't stand the purposely overacting stuff. It just kind of is just awkward, and I just don't particularly care for it. Beyond the Darkness, the movie you mentioned, the Joe D'Amato movie, or that movie I remember being really gross. I'm looking forward to the 7 release. Have not seen that in a very long time. I remember the music being great, which is also used in the Bruno Mattei movie Other Hell, and it also has the same actress, Franca Stappi, is in both of those, however you say her name. I recently watched that The Red Queen Kills 7 and The Night Evelyn Came Out of Her Grave. Those both were the Emilio Murgilagi movies, and they were both cool first-time views. I did a review for that box set if you want to check it out, so I'm not going to talk about those too much. Recently watched the Mike Mendez movie, Don't Kill It, with Dolph Lundgren. That was actually pretty fun. A lot of action. Starts off action-packed, ends on an action note. There's some downtime in the middle, but it's all fun. It has some good gags in it. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I did think that the demonic screaming and the demonic screaming was kind of funny. Kind of made me laugh out loud right when I heard it. And the CGI eyes are a little iffy on my part. But we got Django. Here comes one of my cats bugging me to get in. I don't let him in this room typically. But we have Django by Sergio Corbucci, which I've actually never seen, which is really bad. It's a classic spaghetti western. With Franco Nero. I watched it. I enjoyed it. It's pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty much going to enjoy any western, especially a spaghetti western. But the Franco Nero movie is pretty cool. He drags the coffin in. He brings the coffin in, and he always talking about, well, I got a friend in there, yada yada yada. There's some good action stuff. It has a story where it's kind of these two gangs, and he ends up fighting both of them. One of these religious crazy people and this bang of Mexican revolutionaries. I work in a factory, doing truck parts. But yeah, Django's pretty cool. The music's great, of course, and it's always, remember the cat's distracting me. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, Django is one of those movies that's pretty much a classic. Devil's Candy, not yet. There's so many movies I've had a backlot on. What are you doing out there? Sorry, guys. No, you can't come in here. Purrs like the Predator. Sorry about that, guys, if anybody has any questions. But it'd probably be meowing, Phil. Yeah, Cody was in the Wasteland video like last year. He showed up. Cody's crazy, man. He's doing these really cool pictures online. He's just like, I guess, satirical and political, and he's definitely one of those comedic, like, just political cartoons that are really funny and satirical. A lot of the times they're just so raw, like crazy. You can't help but laugh, to be honest. Uh, we have Shadow's Land with Charles Bronson, directed by Michael Winner. Madness of Many, I watched that one. It really wasn't my thing. I thought it was kind of like a Slaughtered Vomit Dolls type deal. And, like I said, the Slaughtered Vomit Dolls are like a one and done for me. Like, I'm not really into that kind of stuff all the time unless there's like a story. I know he says there's a story. It's just not my thing. And I don't need, like, it's just, my Madness of Many kind of just bored me. I don't want to sound like a jerk, but it was kind of boring, not interesting to me. But Shadow's Land with Charles Bronson, I watched that for the first time. It's directed by Michael Winner, so you know it's going to be batshit crazy. Michael Winner actually directed Death Wish 2 and 3 with Bronson. And Shadow's Land's awesome. It stars this Charles Bronson plays this half Native American character who kills a sheriff. And he's on the run, and this group of people end up tracking him, and it's them going through the desert, and he knows the desert like the back of his hand, so he starts leading these people on, and they start to fight with each other. Their morals come out. It's about masculinity. It's about, being stuck and screwed in the way that if you go with these people, you're guilty by association, and a lot of feelings come in there. Jack Palance is in it. He's great in it. He's like this old, rebel soldier who... he's living in the war. He used to be such much a rougher man back in the day, and now he's kind of he used to be a rougher man, and now he's kind of softened his edges. And there's a great scene where he has a gun pulled on him, and he says, "Say what I'm going to say," and this guy kind of bosses him into it. But Richard Jordan's also in it from Posse, which is kind of strange. He's really young in it. And Ralph Waite, or White, I'm not sure how you say his name, from Cliffhanger's in it, and he plays a real sleazeball. So is Richard Jordan, of course. But it was crazy to see Ralph Waite, or White, play a sleazeball in that movie, considering, the only movie I can think of him off the top of my head was Cliffhanger, and he was like this sweet old man. And then you see him as this sleazy guy. But, Bronson movies are awesome. This one's really good, really satirical. I mean, not necessarily satirical, as I say, it's full of nihilism. It's really downbeat, but really dug the shit out of it. There's on the Twilight Time Blu-ray, it's actually the international cut, which actually has the nudity and the rape scene in it, which it's PG, but I don't think it should be rated PG. It's one of those deals. But yeah, Shadow's Land's great. The Torment 2, I'm not sure. Dustin's been working out a lot of he had problems that were out of his hands. They weren't really his problem. Somebody was going to handle the shipping, and something went wrong with it. So he's been going back and trying to figure out all the packages, and he's been sending them out what he can and getting everything taken care of. So after those were all shipped out, it's eventually gonna go in and it's gonna go up for pre-order. I think he's and do that and whatnot, go up for pre-order and everything like that. Not sure where he's going to be selling them or what's going to go on. Yeah, Big Gun Down's awesome. That's the one Grindhouse released, right? With the crazy guy from Kaltiki, plays that weird like fascist kind of guy. Not seen the Hearst yet. Have it coming on the way. Cat Sick Blues, man. Cat Sick Blues is freaking weird. Dave Dunbar told me to check that one out. Yeah, and I watched it. Really, really weird stuff, man. How's it going, Critic Nation? Yeah, hit me up, send me a message on Facebook. But Cat Sick Blues is just one of those movies that might just be a little too weird. But I love weird movies, but it has to pull me in, and it just is kind of strange. I love the opening. I think the first 15 minutes is beautiful, and I think like the last 15 minutes is beautiful when it goes to this weird hospital scene without giving too much away. But there's a middle gap in there. It's one of those movies that you wouldn't know what the hell. How's it going, man? You wouldn't even know what the hell is going on unless you read the back. There's not really a plot. The plot is the back of the case, and you read it and you go, oh, now I know what's going on. It's just bizarre, weird. Not necessarily sure how I feel about the movie. Like, and it's funny because I love Greasy Strangler, which is just weird and stupid, but I'm not sure how I feel about Cat Sick Blues. Yeah, that's pretty much all the ones. Sweatshop Movie. Yeah, I watched that one. Super gory, super fun. Marcus Cook did the effects, and he's one of the best at it. It's just weird demon creatures running around there. I didn't really get, but I love the killer in that one. But yeah, I think that's all the movies I've watched recently. Just talk now. If you guys got questions or talk about whatever, that sounds good. Yeah, it was so weird. I loved Greasy Strangler. I watched it like 4 or 5 times. It's like endlessly quotable. Like, it's surprisingly endlessly quotable. I'll be right back. Give me 1 minute, guys. So don't ask questions for a minute, all right? Sorry about that, guys. He's just bugging me. Any questions? Bullshit artist. We the waiting? No, I have not heard of that. Not seen Ex Drummer. Is that a horror movie or Asian horror movie? Man, that's a tough call. It's one of those deals where I don't really have one like that I can think of off the top of my head. I guarantee if I say something, I'll think of a one like 2 weeks later that I like better. Battle Royale's pretty good. Untold Story's really good. Red to Kill's cool. I like those Cat 3 things. Ebola Syndrome, but I haven't got to watch them all the time. Highway to Hell I haven't seen since I was a kid. I recently bought the Blu-ray, but I remember seeing that movie on TV when I was a little kid, and I was very, very confused by the weird devil with the tail thing, the little naked devil lady. I was like, what? It just confused me when I was like 8 or 9, But that was one I saw on TV when I was really young, and I'm sure like I thought it was going to be super like scary, or it was when to me as a kid, but then when I know it's like a comedy now. Ebola Syndrome's awesome. I haven't watched it in a really long time, but Anthony Wong goes for it, man. And he's one of those actors that's super intimidating. And I love the scene at the end of Untold Story when they actually do the flashback without giving too much away, but I'll just say the line is like, no reason to let you live, or no reason to let you go now, or something like that. And I was just like, holy shit, when I saw that movie. I wish somebody would release all those Cat 3 movies on Blu-ray. Ichi the Killer, I saw years after it came out, and I didn't love it as much as a lot of people did. And a lot of the Korean stuff I'm really bad about. Like, I saw Train to Busan recently and loved that. But I never actually saw The Devil. I never had a chance. Like, sometimes you pick those Korean movies up and you're like, oh, this is great. Everybody says it's great. And you look and it's like, ooh, 3 hours. I don't really have time for 3 hours. I got to catch up on reviews. I got to catch up on watching. I got to catch up on my sleep. But I know if I put it in, it'll just be an amazing and suck me in the whole time. That's what they tend to do. And it's much, much better than a lot of the movies can, to be honest. It's kind of surprising. I love 100 Tears. Marcus, I know. I'm friends with Marcus. But I didn't know him when I first saw that movie. I didn't know him well. But Marcus is a cool guy, and the effects in 100 Tears are best. Like, the first 20 minutes is amazing. Yeah, I saw The Devil, I have. Like I said, I've been wanting to see it for a long time. Did any of you guys take advantage of the olive sale, the buy one, get one? It was really hard not to, like, spend every dime I had on it. I hope MGM makes a special edition of Brain Dead, Dead Alive. You mean the Peter Jackson movie? MGM? I don't think MGM owns them. Yeah, I don't think MGM owns Dead Alive or Brain Damage. I think that might be let me get rid of the comments. That was a Trimark, so or Lionsgate. That's probably with maybe I thought the rights reverted back to Peter Jackson. Not seen Dark Song. But Peter Jackson probably owns Dead Alive or Brain Damage. Or maybe Vestron owns it. Maybe we'll get it on those Vestron releases. Topo. I've had El Topo and that whole box set for years on Santa Sangre as well, but I haven't watched it. Ginger Snaps I haven't seen in probably since it came out. I remember enjoying it. I liked how they treated the STD as like the werewolf syndrome as an STD. And I thought it was kind of cool. And, a lot of those like teen horror movies are really not good sometimes, or they're super silly, but that one was really good and fun and did everything right. Yeah, Slasher Video. Kind of a bummer that they couldn't locate. I mean, Peter Jackson used to be fat, so they should just call you Old Peter Jackson if they wanted to be nice. Yeah, like, they should call you Old Peter Jackson. You gotta be a dick. You look like fat Peter Jackson. It's like, Peter Jackson was fat. Just call me Old Peter Jackson. Then nobody's feelings are hurt. No hard feelings then. Yeah, I missed some of the comments there. I can't keep up. They flash up for a second and they're gone. It's time to open a can of whoop ass then, Chris. I've been called so many things. When I got my hair cut, when I didn't have facial hair, they called me Julius Caesar at work. The Muck movie I did not like. I did not enjoy it. I thought it was incoherent and sloppy and boring, and the characters I didn't particularly like either. I don't want to be negative, but that was one of the most poor movies I saw that year. I remember being confused and disappointed. It was like, it's a trilogy. This is the middle one, and I was like, is it, or is it just a mess? And you're saying it's a trilogy. I don't know what's going on. And I don't like bad mouthing movies typically. I don't even like when I review. Like, I should say, when I review movies, I don't really give my negative or positive opinion unless I like have grown up with the movie 100 times. I just kind of say what it is, what it's like, the features on it. I kind of want to let people know what it's like and how it is to see if they'll like it, because they don't really care if I like it. They want to know if they're going to like it, so I try to get that across to them. Like, a lot of times I'll watch a movie and I'll send it to the director, and they'll be like, "Glad you liked it," and I'm like, "I didn't really like it. Did you watch the review? I mean, I just said, I just said what it was and how it is, and if other people like it. I want to get out there and tell you what it is to people, not badmouth or praise a movie. I just want to get it to the audience and let them know everything that it is, and what to expect, and without spoiling it too much. Yeah, I have seen the Possession movie of the Mondo version. That movie's pretty damn cool. I remember I got the DVD from Anchor Bay years ago when I was really young. I was like 13, and I put it in. I had my frozen pizza ready. I was ready to dig into Possession. I started watching. I was like, I don't get it, but it looks cool. So I didn't finish it. Then as an adult, I rewatched it on the Blu-ray. Stuff like people like Elric Kane would always like just be obsessed with this movie, and always on the Pure Cinema podcast, Shockwave's podcast, Killer POV. He's always talking about Possession, and I would have bought the Blu-ray eventually, but when he kept talking about it, I had the old DVD, but I was like, man, I remember seeing part of that, but I haven't seen it in years, and I guess I'll check it out. So yeah, I got that, and it was really damn cool, really different. Some crazy intense moments from that actress. Cherry Falls I've never seen. Murder Set Pieces I reviewed years ago, if you want to search out the review. It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I like Fred. He does the effects in that movie, and he acts a small part in it. That's definitely the best part in the movie. You'll see Gunnar Hansen and Tony Todd pop up. But it's an intense, pretty extreme movie, serial killer movie. And it's been a very long time since I've seen it. I'm not sure how I'd feel about it now, but I remember some really cool moments. Possession. I don't think so. We did watch Manhattan Baby. Remember that? I love Fulci. It's funny because me and Chris, we used to do these, and a couple other people, Rich Ackman and Chris's girlfriend, I believe, married now. We used to watch a couple movies a night, and we'd always pick out by themes. I was like a stickler. It's like, no, we can't just pick what we want to watch, which was really a bad idea. We should have just picked whatever the hell we wanted to watch at the time. One person brings one movie, another person brings another movie. I don't know why I had this like schedule, and you don't want to do a schedule like that. Yeah, but this was 10 years ago, probably. Maybe more. 10 years ago, we had Manhattan Baby and Playroom on a bill together to watch in my basement. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be a jerk cook, but I might skip some of your questions. I just can't do them in time. Don't really like Entity. But what was it? Playroom and Manhattan Baby consecutively. And we put in Playroom, and I was like, this is going to be stupid. I never heard of it. Yeah, it was Manny Cotto who did Dr. Giggles. And I remember Chris O'Donnell was in it from Billy Madison and Thelma and Louise. And we started watching it, and by the end of the movie, we were all like, this is actually a pretty fun little movie. We enjoyed it. And I was like, but the next one's going to blow your socks off. It's Lucio Fulci. We got to watch Put in Manhattan Baby. And I'm a big Fulci fan, and at the time, this is probably 10 years ago, like I said, I had seen, his big movies, Zombie, The Beyond, City of the Living Dead, House by the Cemetery, New York Ripper. I'm not even sure if I saw Don't Torture a Duckling by then, but, and Zombie 3, I saw part of it. So yeah, I put it in. I had not experienced stuff like, what is that? Solomon's Ghost or whatever is it? Somata's, I can't remember Solomon's Ghost or Enigma or Cat in the Brain or Lizard and Woman's Skin or Don't Torture a Duckling. So like I wasn't super 100% knew all the Fulci stuff. So I put this in, and I watched Manhattan Baby. We watched it, and it was a lot of close-ups of eyes, which is typical Fulci, and laser beams, and everybody had a beard, and everybody looked the same. And it was actually, it drug on. I'm sure I'd like it now. I'm pretty sure I'd dig it. But back then, it just was not something I enjoyed. We all were like, everybody's mad at me because I put it in. What was the other one? Oh, yeah, Don't Look Now. That's a movie that I didn't like then, but as I thought about it more and more, this is 10 years ago, guys, give me a break. And it was one of those movies I saw 10 years ago and I didn't care for it, but then I kept thinking about it, and I was like, I gotta see it again. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but I bought the Blu-ray, and I know it's going to be great because I remember the ending always stuck with me. It was one of those movies that I didn't really grasp as a younger person. The Void, yeah, I did see The Void. I thought the special effects were amazing. Best effects I've seen in an indie movie probably ever. Well, I don't want to say ever. Recently, last 10 years. I love the concept. You know, I dig the concept, and I like the movies that it's inspired from. I'm not one of those guys that's like, it ripped off all those movies. It's like all the movies I love are homages to something else anyways most of the time, and half the movies, you know, so that's not a problem to me. Like, it's a smorgasbord of stuff like The Resurrected, Hellraiser 2, The Beyond, all this cool stuff that I love. So even Cronenberg, Carpenter, Fulci, all that stuff. Lovecraft. So I'm cool with that, you know? That's not a problem to me. But, you know, some of the things like the score's not there. There's not a really good score on it, if I can remember it all. And the acting ranges, like, I think that a couple of the guy who plays the dad's good, even though his character's muddled. And I think that the lady who plays the training nurse is good. But a lot of the other acting is iffy to bad. And it's not even, I don't even think the actor's fault. I think it's a lot of the dialogue. I think it's just dialogue, really, mostly, and the characters. So it's like that kind of stuff, and it just doesn't give the actors or actresses much to work with. The kind of muddled characters that really don't make any sense, that I don't really understand what they're doing or why their motivations are there or anything, to be honest. I mean, I understand the baddie in the movie, what he's doing, but it's just it's very muddled, too much in at once. But on the other hand, the effects are so good. It's so ambitious. Like, I love it, but I also, there's parts of it I don't like. But I did order the Blu-ray from UK, so I gotta have it. Murder by Phone I have not seen, but I remember the cover art, that one has the lady screaming on there with the phone drawn on. I mean, I've not seen Clive Barker's Dread. I have that downstairs, though. I skipped out on a lot of the written by Clive Barker stuff that came out in the last 15 years. You know, I love Hellraiser, I love Nightbreed, I love Lord of Illusions. I even love Hellraiser 2, although he didn't direct it. I didn't even know. I knew about Maniac Cop, but I didn't know Refn owned the rights to What Have You Done to Solange, and what was the other one? Something Witching. Yeah, but he owns the rights to Maniac Cop, I knew. I'd like to see him do a Maniac Cop, because Maniac Cop's fun, but I wouldn't be heartbroken if Refn made a remake. I'm not like one of those guys. If it looks like shit, I won't watch it. Yeah, I saw Evil Laugh. It's been a long time since I watched Evil Laugh. Isn't there a microwave death in that one, if I remember correctly? Witchfinder General, yeah, that... I can't see that as a Refn movie. I never saw Valhalla Rising, but that would probably be the most close, like, stylistically, to Witchfinder General. I saw part of Valhalla Rising. But, man, thinking about its recent films, like Neon Demon and Drive and Only God Forgives and Bronson, I cannot see any Witchfinder General style in there, but... Mad's character and Bleeder. I have that movie. I have not watched it. Yeah, but yeah, I can't see it on some of that stuff. Like, but you know, if he's only Eyes of Fire, I've been waiting to see forever. I have that VHS. Let me move for a second, readjust. I'm trying to avoid that light. See that? Is that gonna be too bad? See that light in the background? Five Girls movie. That's better. I wasn't sitting on the bed originally. That light gonna drive everybody crazy? Let me know. Should I move? Yay? Nay? Is it okay? That would be cool if Ennio Morricone scored. I really liked Only God Forgives. Yeah, they had some twisted moments in there. It looked beautiful. It was bloody. It was crazy. Yeah, you know what's funny about the director's cut of Nightbreed? Everybody's like, well, finally, he gets to do what he wanted. It's still not the same. It's not necessarily how he would have made it back in the day. You know? I think that he would have, obviously, you can't say that like a 30, 35-year-old guy would have edited and made those scenes like that he would now when he's like 65. It's just completely different ball game. But I'm glad that we got to see some of the director's cut. I still wanted to see the extended Cabal cut with everything in there is what I really was hoping for. When it was the director's cut, I was a little down on it, to be honest. I was a little disappointed. Drive's awesome. I mean, I've only got to see it the one time, but see, that's the problem. Like, to say like, oh, these movies are amazing, these are the best things ever, for me is hard, especially modern movies. I don't have the attachment, not because they're not good all the time. Sometimes they are not good, but mostly because I just don't have time to rewatch them like I could when I was a kid. Like I could watch Dawn of the Dead 50 times in a year, and I can't do that anymore. I don't have the time, unfortunately. The Last Shift movie, I thought that was pretty decent. I watched it on Netflix. I was happy with it. Had some cool effects in it. Well, not cool effects. There were some cool effects, but I like that it pretty much took place in one location and it had balls. It kind of surprised me at the end. I was surprised how downbeat it was without spoiling too much. They also had that one Let Us Pray that came out around that time, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah, I'd like to see those on Blu-ray. I'll be right back again. Sorry, I'm going to grab a drink. Is that cool? Sorry, guys. I'll be right back. Sorry, guys. It is getting warm in here. Did I miss anything? That's going to be like a big cut in there. Ugh. I know it's probably not great, but I moved the one of the cats was just standing by here scratching at the door meowing. There's tons of food in their bowl. So I put him in my room. It's the biggest room in the house, with a litter box and food bowl and whatnot. But I just let him out a little bit. But sometimes, man, he'll just follow you wherever you go. I don't let him in here because a couple of the cats are a little bit, they're reckless sometimes. They like to play. They get a little out of hand. So I keep them away from the Blu-ray room. Although sometimes one sneaks under the door, and the good one does. She'll just lay on the bed. Out there playing now, so if you hear weird sounds, sorry. Ex-drummer. Who's in that one? Flowers I liked. A lot of the movies you're asking about, Cook, I reviewed on the page, on the channel, so if you want to search them up. That's one thing a lot of people never do, is like they'll ask me directly about a movie, and it's like, I reviewed that one. You can always search mrparka and then the movie and it'll pop up. I know it's easier to do it here. Just send me a direct message. But but Flowers I thought was pretty cool. I love that Phil Stevens built his own sets, and it's so... And a lot of the actresses had to go through hell. They're crawling in blood. And the sets are so gross. So much decay and rot laying around. Usually a lot of that stuff I'm like, ugh, no thanks. But that one I thought was really imaginative in a way. And Phil Stevens is not scared to get crazy with the camera. Doing good. What? How'd you find that out? This is low-calorie Gatorade, so it basically is water. Who told you that? Was that one of those Yahoo News things? If you guys ever want to get depressed about humanity, just go read the Yahoo News comments. Within 3 comments, it's people tearing each other down. It looked like he tore his house up, man. It looked crazy. That light's driving me nuts. How many horror Muppet movie you know? Meet the Feebles, Puppet Monster Massacre. That's all I can think of right now. But there's hundreds of movies with puppets in. But sorry. Oh wow, really? Huh. I don't drink it very much. I got those from a friend of mine. Movie buff, is that Kyle? Hey, Kyle. Future of modern slasher movies? I don't know, man. Thanks, man. I will, Matt. I'll look for it. Future of modern slasher movies. They're either going to be a couple sincere slasher movies, or there's going to be a lot that are these kind of hokey-jokey slasher movies. Sometimes they're okay. I dig some of the zany ones, but most of the time I'm so sick of the self-aware kind of slasher movie that's like, hey, aren't slashers stupid? Yeah, but we spent like 50 grand making one and making fun of it. It's like, we get it, we seen a slasher movie, we know what's silly about it. Just, it gets old. Sometimes they do a great job. When they originally came out, they were fun, but I just got burnt out. Yeah, I hated hating Dude Bro Massacre 3. Because as Patton Oswalt in it, he's hilarious in it. And those guys are super fucking talented. I could tell. Like, they had all this gore effects. They had miniatures in there. They had fun music. Like, if they would have... It's not a bad movie by any means. It's just that I just don't typically like that kind of self-aware, over-the-top stuff. Like, She Kills was the same way. Like, it's fun, but it's not my thing. Dude Bro Massacre, what was that? Easter Bloodbath Sunday. I just recently came out. I can't remember what it was. Easter Sunday. These things, it's not that they're bad or anything. I mean, it's all subjective anyways. It's just they're not for me. And I just don't really care for that kind of silly humor stuff. I mean, I love horror comedies. I just don't like the self-aware, like, parody comedies anymore. Unless it's Leslie Nielsen. I like my parody deadpan. I've not seen Death Master. If you see another Hitchhiker Murder Deal, what's Hitchhiker Murder Deal? Like Henry? Or like a real Hitchhiker Murder Deal? Yeah, Evil Ed's a blast, man. I'm super happy that Arrow picked it up. Like, when I saw they were doing that in Brain Damage and it was the same month, I was like, man, they're killing it. I can't believe Arrow is killing it that much. Then we got this month, what is it? Reanimator is coming out. Next month, I mean. Reanimator, Don't Torture a Duckling, Bird with the Crystal Plumage. Like Hitcher? I got to watch Gator Bait a while ago. It's been a long time since I checked it out, but I remember Gator Bait's one of those movies that's so sleazy and so dirty, but I love the hell out of it because I like the exploitation stuff. I dig the shit out of it, like the movie Junior. I like that stuff. Deliverance, Hunter's Blood. I like it. Yeah, Bay of Blood's a blast. I like it a lot. It's got Luigi Pistelli in it. Dig that. Precursor to Friday the 13th, of course, is what everybody will tell you, but it's got a high kill count, and it's got one of those endings that's like, really? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Chris. I lost you somewhere. Oh. They might. I bet they will. They get everything. Not much is new with me, I was thinking about going to watch the fights, but, I didn't feel like leaving because I'm a lazy SOB. Oh. That's cool. I know what you're talking about now, Hitcher, but I missed your first comment. So, like, I got lost. I was like, what? Hitchhiker Killer? But, yeah, I love what Arrow's doing. Unknown movies that disturb me. Unknown. I mean, I probably would have talked about them. Unknown movies that disturb me. I really can't think of any unknown. It's kind of hard. It's so weird when people are like I was just laughing about these lists with my friends. Like, people are like, 10 obscure horror movies you never heard of. And it's like, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 or like The Birds 2. It's like, everybody's heard of these movies, right? Or am I just like, they just name the most, like, not that obscure movie. They're like, When a Stranger Calls. It's like, what the fuck's going on? Like, maybe nobody's seen these movies, but everybody's heard of them. Or, like, stuff like that. It's just bizarre that they do that kind of stuff. Or they'll be like, the 50 worst movies ever made. Number 1, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. It's like, you're saying Killer Clowns from Outer Space is the worst movie ever made. What, you hit your head in the shower this morning? I love Killer Clowns, by the way. I'm just saying, they always put these weird oddball things on the list that's just bullshit, that nobody's ever seen a movie. Thanks for the ride, lady. Thanks for the ride, Chris. Hey, Dom. More Hitcher movies. You've seen The Hitcher. Hitchhiker, Thanks for the Ride, Lady. I'm trying to think of some more creepy Hitchhiker movies. Is it Quicksilver Highway have a Hitchhiker story in it with the chattering teeth? That's not a good movie though, so I probably shouldn't steer you to that. Has Matt Freyer in it? Not a good movie. Christopher Lloyd, Quicksilver Highway. Yeah, that'd be cool. Serbian Film is actually a really well-made movie, as disturbing as it is. I haven't watched that much Jodorowsky. Maybe I've never seen a movie. Yeah, I like what Mondo Macabro's doing too. I don't know. I honestly, your question about why does every every slasher movie try to emulate Friday the 13th or Halloween? I'm probably gonna go on a tirade here, so if any questions, I'll probably miss them. But I really think it is that a lot of people. Yeah, it is based on that one, Chris. I think that a lot of people who make slasher movies, I don't want to generalize, but a lot of people that make independent slasher movies don't watch other independent movies or haven't seen that many obscure movies, so they go out and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna make this awesome homage to Friday the 13th or Halloween. I love these movies. I watched all these movies as a kid. Yada yada yada." And they go out and they make this movie, and they're not really familiar with the millions upon millions of movies that were made that are inspired by those movies, and they go out and they make like the same freaking movie over and over and over again. And it's like, what is the point of going out and making a low budget version of something that has so much already made of it? So it's just bizarre to. I can understand like going out and paying homage to like brain eating movies or something really off the wall and strange that a lot of people don't get attention to, or going out and making a slasher movie and making it completely different and weird and batshit crazy. But going out and making a slasher movie that's just a lesser version of your favorite movie is kind of a waste of time. That means that I just don't think those people are very up on like indie horror and know what's going on. Or they just know that it's a cash grab and they make a slasher because they know it will make money. What was that last question there? Sleazy question for you. Which set of tits were better? Blonde chick from Chopping Mall or the chick near the beginning of Nail Gun Massacre? Man, I can't remember how they look. It's just how long it's been since I watched those movies. Nail Gun Massacre, is that the sex scene out in the woods, though? I don't know. Nail Gun looks dirtier, so I guess that's sleazier, so I'll go with that one. Yeah, Santa Sangre, I have that sitting here. I bought it. It looks amazing. I love the circus and the horror mixed. Not enough circus horror anymore. The circus is a terrifying place. Especially old circuses, I can imagine, were so bizarre and different. It was such a nice setting to set up a horror movie with the circus, but, this intrigue of unknown and different stuff, I always dug it. Like stuff like, Vampire Circus or even Psycho Circus, but, it's just kind of circus is kind of lost now. The Last Circus, which is a more recent movie, a Spanish horror movie, really enjoyed that. But I think the circus is a cool setup. I guess the circus is kind of disappearing, really. No, I haven't watched any of the Garage House or is it Garbage House releases. Yeah, always like Dead Pit. Not going to be able to get all these questions, all of them hit at one time, so I'll catch up. But yeah, always a fan of Dead Pit. It's by Brent Leonard, who did Virtuosity, which I haven't seen in years, and The Lawnmower Man and stuff like that, and Feed. But I believe he's from Toledo, which is where I'm from, which is cool. But it's been a long time. Dead Pit is kind of like a low rent Hellraiser too. And what was the other one? Cannibal Ferox. Always like Cannibal Ferox. It is kind of a low rent Cannibal Holocaust. Love the music in it. Love Giovanni Radici. And there's some pretty disturbing stuff in there. And it's got one of those unintentional funny moments that always got stuck in my head when he says, "and ate his genitals," and then in a flashback later, she's like thinking about it when she's laying by the fire. It's like, "and ate his genitals." It like plays over the soundtrack. I always thought that was unintentionally great. As a kid, I didn't think it was funny. I just watched the movie, but later as an adult, it's like, what the hell? I think I've only seen the second Vampire Hunter D, and I really enjoy it. Lots of cool stuff. Maybe you can help me. I have in my head a scene from a movie when I was maybe 8 or 9. It's a clown in a wheelchair shooting flies with his finger. They die, then he aims at the kid. I'm not sure what that is, to be honest. Flies with his finger. Can anybody help him out on that? No, they don't make any movies like Basket Case anymore. And a new Halloween movie, I'm not really interested. I'm not uninterested. I'm just not interested. The Great Silence, is that a Sergio Carbucci movie as well, right? I've actually not seen it, but I have the DVD of it. I've been waiting for Ooh, sorry, something popped up, guys. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm screwing up this thing here. I don't know what's going on right now. I think I added you as a moderator on accident, Tom, so sorry about that. There's a lot of questions going on real quick, and I'm catching up. I've not seen The Great Silence. It's a Sergio Corbucci movie. Klaus Kinski. Klaus Kinski, I love him in Venom when he's side with Oliver Reed. He's intense and scary. I love him in Nosferatu. He's great in that one. I don't know that many Ken Russell movies. I know The Devils very well, and I've seen a couple here and there. Let me think. That's the one I'm most familiar with is The Devils. But Hard Rock Zombies is super fun. They don't really make Italian horror movies anymore. They mostly do television or low-budget Italian horror movies. There is stuff like Francesca, which came out a while ago, and what else was there? He did another one before that too. Professor Rosso, which is all in red, which is cool. Mother of Tears has some good moments. It's been a while since I've seen it. From last year, probably The Invitation was probably my favorite movie from last year. Really? I have the DVD. It never hit Blu-ray, which kind of surprised me. I love Hammer horror movies, although I'm not as caught up as Hammer horror as I'd like to be. I've seen all the Dracula movies. I've seen a handful there. The Curse of the Werewolf, the Phantom one. What else is? I love Vampire Circus, like I said, but I can never keep up with all the Hammer stuff. I watched the first Frankenstein. I love what I've seen. I like that kind of style. A little bit of nudity and blood in with the kind of Universal feel. I really like the Universal horror movies too. Love Hammer stuff, so yeah. Kyle, yeah, I'll watch. I'm interested in watching the new one that comes out from Jim Roberts, but I haven't heard anything, so. I'll probably stick around for about an hour. We got about 15 more minutes. Anything else? Seen a bad zombie movie with Ula Bull helping it in. It was from Italy. I've not seen Gutterballs 2 yet. But I believe the original Gutterballs 2 is getting turned to Dead Nude Girls 2. I don't know really what's going on with it, and he's reshooting Gutterballs 2. The Punchki tapes? Yeah, I have not watched that one. I think it's Pough. I can't think. Yeah, Jim Roberts is a lot of fun, man. His movies are, bloody and low budget, and they have a regional feel to them. I enjoy them. I think my favorite are probably his first two still. I like Welcome to Deer Creek and Tonight You Die. Welcome to Deer Creek's my favorite, though. It's also a zombie movie, and I was a sucker back then, and I still am for zombie movies, Always been. I know it's oversaturated, but... Yeah, I heard there was a pair of brothers. They'd done actually quite a few movies, and they kind of are on the way to do some bigger movies too. I thought the movie got shelved for whatever reason. I'm sure it's past its mark now. Like if it got released, most people would. Yeah, it's like all their tapes and stuff. I'm sure if it got released now, it probably wouldn't do so well because it's been pushed back. I've seen a couple episodes of Masters of Horror. I remember the one by Don Coscarelli I saw. I thought it was okay. Zombie 2 is a must, man. Well, Zombio 2. I have a bootleg of it. I haven't had a chance to watch it. I haven't watched the Zombio movies. I bought one from Toxic Filth. That guy did a bunch of other movies too. Peter something. Kyle, you asked me that question already a long time ago. I did. I watched about half of Argento's Dracula 3D. Yeah. 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 I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. It's stupid and cheesy. I didn't get mad or anything. I was just like, yep. A lot of these people take it personal. They get so mad. I probably had my moments and I get mad, I just turn it off. If I don't got to review it, I'll just turn it off. I've had some movies I had to get through, though, had to review, and it's just, sometimes it feels like torture, having to watch a movie if you're not into it.
What's my least favorite movie? What's one movie that I hate? I don't know. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go through a bunch of movies I dislike. No, but that's just a waste of time, isn't it? I mean, people that enjoy hating stuff, I don't get it, man. It's a lose-lose situation. You wasted your time watching it, and now you're going to badmouth this guy's hard work or this girl's hard work, man. A lot of work went into those movies, even if they don't seem like it. I mean, but it's lose-lose. You wasted your time, and now you think they wasted their resources, and so it's just. I mean, I'll say if I don't like a movie or anything, but it's also just a waste of time to sit there and write hate reviews. Yeah, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. I want to watch that one. I thought that one was the Owlman one. I can't remember what it's called. That one was pretty interesting. I mean, I dislike bad movies. I just don't get off on disliking bad movies. You know what I mean? There's lots of people out there that they go out and they get extreme. Like they want to praise or just like worst movie ever, best movie ever. I actually do enjoy more European horror films, especially from like, I love the 70s and 80s stuff for sure. But there's just this thing where people want to like, they almost have to do it now. Like they have to hype up. I haven't had a chance to even look at the damn thing. I haven't had a chance to open my Amazon, my Phantasm Arrow box set. But a lot of people just go out and they look to praise things to the fullest extent or destroy things to the fullest extent because they believe that that way will get them coverage. That way will, I don't know. It's just so crappy. I'll never get my 2 hours back. It's silly. But I don't know. Everything, like people use the term clickbait. Everything's clickbait now. Phantom Killer's been a long time since I've watched it. Euro cult and Euro trash. Man, I don't know. I guess not really. I mean, if you're Euro trash, you're Euro cult, but just because you're Euro cult doesn't mean you're Euro trash. Does that make sense? And I don't even know how to explain the difference, if there is a difference. Ooh. Sorry, I'm going down the list. Yeah, that was me and Hunters. Yeah, Hunters has some pretty crazy stuff going along in there. I can't keep up with all this, sorry. That's a good idea, Chris. Yeah, I have Phantom of the Wall. I never got a chance to watch it. I've seen the first. Is Gorotica the first one? Or is Gorgasm the first one of that trilogy? I've seen the first one of that, and I reviewed it, but I haven't watched all of them yet. Dead eye stare. My little beady dead eyes. Spasms Code Red, I have that one, but I watched it on a bootleg. There's a great scene in Oliver Reed in that one when he's like having a flashback and he's like, he's swelling, he's growing, the bubbles are popping, swelling. It's really weird. Hunters, man. I was only on that set for I think a couple days. We drove all the way out. Dustin actually drove with me all the way out to Pennsylvania. We drove for like 10 hours to be in that thing. Yeah. That was years ago though. Blu-ray finally came out. Not really my thing, but James is really good in it. I actually never got a chance to watch Antichrist. I watched the 1974 Antichrist. Yeah, I really dug The Barn. I think I talked about that on one of my live videos on Facebook. I talked about it on like the best of did that make my best of 2016? I think it did. Yeah, I dug that one. A lot of ambition. They put a lot into that movie, man. You got to give it props. And the monsters were so cool. I think if it changed like just a couple things for me, it'd be my favorite movie of that year. One of my favorite movies in general. There's just so much to like about it. I would put Void and The Barn kind of similar. I enjoyed The Barn more, but I would say that there's just a couple tweaks and they would be masterpieces. I'd say The Barn's closer, though, for me, for what it is. So, Fred? I've not seen Fred. Yeah, the barn's really cool, Chris. Maybe Family Video has it. You should check it out. Favorite supernatural slasher film? I don't know. You got Nightmare on Elm Street. That counts. Love those. You got to give it up to Slayer, which is coming out. Adam Albright's the director's name on Hunters. He also did Cemetery and Crossbear and Burnt House and Sight were the movies he directed. Feature lengths. And a movie, I don't know if it's still coming out or what's up with it, The Sadist. He was supposed to direct that one too. So yeah, I haven't talked to him in a long time. He kind of went MIA. Yeah, if it should still be available on Massacre Video. I don't know if that one's going to be in print afterwards. So if you want it, buy it. Because it might not come back in print. House on Willow Street. Not heard of that one. I think Pet Sematary holds up. Yeah, I think the new It looks pretty good, to be honest. I mean, it was one of those movies that had a lot of attachment to nostalgia. Like, I loved it as a kid. The first half is still good, I think. The second half is kind of crummy. But I think that new one looks pretty good. Maybe it has a good budget with it. I'll enjoy the hell out of it. I'm going to watch it, I'm going to enjoy watching it. I enjoy checking it out. But I think that the first It has this huge popularity surge because of the nostalgia when people grew up and because Tim Curry, to be honest. And Tim Curry's great in that movie, though. And it has a good cast. I've never read the full book of It. I read about half of it years and years ago. I haven't read Stephen King in so long. I haven't read books in a while. I do a lot of podcasts. The Mario Bava movies I've seen have all been pretty cool, to be honest. I haven't watched Ringu. But, Roscoe the Bulber is actually pretty coal. But, I like Mario Bava's movies. Blood Black Lace is a fucking masterpiece. Pardon my French. Bay of Blood's good stuff. Rabid Dogs is really cool. Black Sabbath got a huge popularity to it. Keltiki's cool, although he's not necessarily credited as that. I've not seen all his movies, so there's a lot that I have not seen, like Whip in the Body, Black Sunday. There's a lot I'm missing out on Baba. He's done so many movies. He's had such a prolific career. I have seen Shock. I'm not a huge fan of Shock. Yeah, there is a Ringu vs. Grudge movie out. That really wasn't my scene, the Japanese ghost stories. Never really got into them. Never really watched them. That's one genre I'm not really a fan of. Ooh, from a movie? Movies I don't like. Animals I don't like? Chimpanzees scared the shit out of me. Not gorillas, not baboons, not orangutans, not other apes, not monkeys, but chimpanzees scare the crap out of me because the chimpanzee is super smart or super strong, and they can turn on you like that. Just kind of freak me out. And another animal that kind of scares me, a hippopotamus. Hippopotamuses are super powerful. They kill a lot of people, more people than people expect. And they're tough as nails. They just bite through people with their jaws. It's just like stuff that typically scares a lot of people doesn't. Big cats scare me because big cats stalk their prey, tear them apart. And as a kid, I always used to have dreams about big cats that talked. And I would befriend them so it wouldn't kill me, and then I'd betray it trying to get away, and it would be standing outside a door or locked room, like, I'm gonna kill you, and it's a giant tiger or lion talking to me, freak me out. So those are the kind of animals that scared me. Yeah, chimp and phenomena is terrifying. They're so freaking strong, and what they do is they always go for the face, the eyes, the ears, the mouth, the genitals, the hands. It's just like chimpanzees are ruthless. Yeah, hippos are huge. I missed some of the questions before. I've not actually seen the VHS Massacre from Trauma. I've not seen Science Craze, but I did buy it at a Wasteland one year. DVD. Oh, the new Alien film came out already? Large Cat Nightmare now? What do you want? You're not coming in here. The cat, man, he's still trying to get in. You can't come in here. There you go. Sorry, guys. I missed those questions. He's always trying to get in here. Oh yeah, I've heard like monkeys cutting off the other, like not cutting off, but ripping off heads and leaving them hanging up, so other like groups of monkeys don't leave them alone. They made what was that? The Humongous something. That's like a trauma movie. Something about hippos. Is there a hippo title in that one? I don't remember. Oh, Candyman. It's been a long time since I watched Candyman. Remember enjoying the first Candyman. I'm not sure if I ever watched the sequels, to be honest. Remember reading the story from Clive Barker in one of the Books of Blood. That was pretty cool. Different, but cool. Yeah, I haven't had the chance to watch that one. I'd like to, though. It looks awesome. Well, I'm going to get going. Next, anybody got a couple more questions? Oh, yeah. What you guys should do, if you can, do me a favor. Somebody said Shakma. I haven't had a chance to watch it, but this is a German import of Shakma on Blu-ray. But Code Red also released that one. Sorry, I'm real close to the camera trying to put this Shakma movie away. Yeah, Hellbound Heart's completely different from Hellraiser. But you guys should go. I re-put up the feed, but if you haven't checked out the Shut Up Brandon podcast, me, Brandon, and Dustin used to do this podcast. There's 25 episodes up. I'm probably going to start doing more content for the podcast channel, but it necessarily won't be a Shut Up Brandon episode, if that's cool. So yeah, if you guys want to go subscribe to Shut Up Brandon and like the Facebook page, you spread the word. Thanks. Yeah, we kind of, it's just more freestyle. We just talk and bull crap and talk about what we've been watching, make jokes, do kind of little skit things, nonsense. But yeah, I'll definitely be putting more content in that within the next few months, probably. And I'll probably be, I was trying to cut back on doing videos as much, maybe, kind of have other things. I'd really like to see the Spookies on Blu-ray. That's one I'd like to see on Blu-ray. There's lots of stuff, though, that I'd like to see on Blu-ray. They hit most of it, to be honest. They got a lot of the stuff out that I'm surprised they did. But there's just some stuff I think would be cool. Like Chameleons would be a cool one. Stuff that you don't really hear much about. What is that? What is that stupid movie? Oh, Mommy. Stuff like that with the werewolf grandma. Rad I've not seen. Wavelength, I have that VHS. What else would I want to see on Blu-ray? I'm trying to think of a couple. I'd have to go down to the VHS rack. I'm sure I could find a bunch there that I'd be like, oh, this needs one. On Mass Part 25. The Brain. There's one. Tons of stuff, man. There's just so much good stuff that's still at Supernaturals that hasn't hit Blu-ray. Hasn't even got DVD decent release in the States. The Borrower. I actually did make a horror movie called Slimy Little Bastards, if you want to check it out on Amazon. And I directed half of the horror anthology Halloween Spookies. I did the last segment and the wraparound out of the 4 segments on there. So I directed a couple movies, you know. Probably going to direct another one before I die. Not sure when. Not sure how fast I can get to it. But, you know, time goes by quicker than you think. You know, you don't always have as much of it as you like. You got a lot of things. Especially if you say yes to a lot of things, you realize you're like, yeah, I'll do it, yeah. And then like the time comes and you don't want to do it. But then when you get there, you have a great time. It's just so much time. Not heard of it. Have you seen this? Have you seen on? I've never seen the Silver Globe. Yeah, but I'm gonna get going, guys. Probably hang it up. If you got any questions or anything. Remind you, this review, this was live, so the questions that pop up, I probably won't be answering them necessarily really quick. But, yeah, shoot me a message on Facebook if it's something you really got to know, or any questions about anything. Favorite Takeshi Miike film? You know, I haven't watched that many movies, so Tales in the Hood, I love it. Love Tales in the Hood. But Fulci rules. Fulci's the best. Fulci lives. I'm going to get out of here, though, guys. Take care. Thanks for watching and everything. Thanks for subscribing.